Hey everybody, welcome back to another Zinespiration chat show. I'm Ryan from Pocket Thoughts Zines, and with me as always is Craig from 5 O'Clock Zines. Joining us today, and we're not quite sure which part of the screen she may be on, is Amélie, also known as ApacDrawings. You've probably seen her zine, the 10 Best Horror Movies Directed by Women, and her new double zine pack, Witches. Thanks so much. She's French Canadian, about 4 hour drive away from me. So we're practically neighbors. We're ganging up on you, Craig. Welcome to the show, Emily.
Yeah, I
Sorry about that. Yes, welcome, Emily. How are you?
fine.
Well, I was just going to mention this 10 Best Horror Movies Directed by Women. It's your first scene. I think it's fantastic. I think I got one of the first copies that you printed and sent off. I'm very thankful to have it. So, can you tell us what inspired you to make this as your very first one?
I'm a big fan of horror movies, so you can guess it, I think. So I wanted to first to create a zine about that. I think horror movies it's a kind of niche, so zines are suit really well for this kind of project. Um, and also I want to give the spotlight to female filmmakers, and they are not they are only few of them in horror movies, so it's really interesting to make a zine about it. So I mix these two goals, and that's it. And also I was thinking about the fact that in horror movies so many women are killed. In fact, the whole concept of horror movies is based on the idea of a killer who attack and kill women. So from this angle, it's interesting when female filmmakers explore this genre, because the women are artists can add their point of view about this.
Fantastic. Yeah.
What's your favorite horror movie?
My favorite horror movie of all time, it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I
Oh yeah,
really like it, the original one.
they made
um,
two of
it's
those.
really a great movie. So amazing.
But that's kind of like one of the typical old slasher movies, right? Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where he really it's been years since I've seen the original, but he just goes around like slicing up college girls, doesn't he?
Yeah. That's pretty it. He also kill men. He kill everybody. He like to kills people. But it's a B movie. It's a cheap movie, but also it's really an artistic film. The light is really great, and Leatherface dance with the chainsaw at the end of the movie. It's so awesome. So I really like it.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So it sounds like you're really into horror movies. So what sprouted the idea of making the zine into a horror movie? Like, I know you said they both go together. You have the horror movie and
Mhm.
zines, like kind of niche. But what kind of uh, made you go, okay, yes, I want to make a zine about this?
Mm. Um, I was dreaming about wrote a book about horror movies. It's an old dream I have. I want to to talk about it, to kind of search or to explain why I like it so much. I like it so much, a gory aspect of it. So writing a book, it's a very long process, and I don't know how to do it exactly. It's really
Mhm.
complicated. I have many ideas. So I was thinking if I do a really small project, is the first step to a big one someday. Maybe
Mhm.
in 10 years, I will publish a book about horror movies. But right now, I have a little zine, and I will make other zine about the topic. So I think it's a great way to create.
And being French Canadian, I think what's really cool is this is also available en français, right? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know if you can
yeah.
get it in French or
Yeah,
English. And
I made a French a French version of it, but in fact the English one is the most popular, so I think it's a good thing that I made it in English at first.
That's funny because I was just about to ask that because you were saying about writing a book and stuff, and I was going to say, oh yeah, but, like this is in English, and I didn't really have a question, but I was just thinking about that and thought, oh, why did you? And then I realized there's not a lot of English in here, but then
No,
there are some quotes. There are some
yeah,
quotes,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
thought, I wonder, and then wow, I didn't know it was in French too. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I was thinking it like an illustrated project, so I have not to wrote too much, and I think, oh, I can copy paste some quotes,
Hmm.
and in the French version, I wrote a text about the horror movie, but not in the English one.
is there um is there like a big subgenre of French horror movies?
Yeah, yeah, actually, but not in Quebec, not in Quebec. Some horror movies are produced by English English speakers, but in France, it's a trend. It was a trend in the 90s, and it's the new French horror wave,
Hmm.
French terror wave. I don't know the exact expression, but it was really big. In my zine, I have one of those films, or maybe two. Are those films of the French wave, like Trouble Every Day by Claire Denis. So
Hmm.
it's the title is in English, but the film was part partly in French and English. It's this it's in this the
Style, that style.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So the reason I ask is because the French language is often so associated with love and romance
Mhm,
and that. And when you go into like very, very classic horror, Dracula,
mhm,
Frankenstein, there's a lot of love and passion and
mhm.
seduction and stuff. So they go really hand in hand. So I was really curious of like how much of a genre or subgenre
And
of French horror would be.
In France, horror movies are more extreme, more pornographic. Also, I have a one in one of them in the zine, Baise-moi, and this one is really is pornographic. So the French, they took the idea of horror movies and they make it more extreme. So
There was
Uh,
it's really fascinating. Yeah,
Bez,
yeah, it's this one. Yeah.
that translate to what I think that translates to?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This
Maybe
one
I'll have to look it up.
is really a pornographic movie. It was censored in France, but in Canada, it was possible to see it at theater, but not in France because of
Cool.
that.
the great thing about this zine, and I think the great thing about zines in general is I learned something from it. There's a lot of movies in here that I've seen it. There's a couple that I've seen that I didn't realize were female directors.
Hmm.
Which I thought was really really cool. It was nice you shining a light on them, but then also it's being aware to the making it aware to the reader that actually these are directed by women, and I think that was really really cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's the whole idea. I put the mainstream movies like Pet
Mm,
Cemetery and American Psycho,
mm,
uh, and I also put hidden gems. So it's a mix of the two kind.
mm.
So, what influenced your art style? Like, what kind of art were you into to get this very clean black and white line drawing?
Yeah, yeah, I really like this kind of ink drawings. When I was a teenager, I was into Dungeons and Dragons, and in my old books, Dungeons and Dragons book, the first edition, all the drawing was in black inks. I find it very fascinating, and also black ink is very perfect for a zine because it is cheaper but it's not just because it's cheaper. I really like this style and I try to improve my craft. I really want to be an illustrator in ink. I
Do
don't
Mm.
they,
know why. It's just simple. The contrasts are more extreme, and I like it. Something like that.
so in your other zines you put out, the witches zines,
Mm.
same sort of concept of, I want to shine a light on this.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The whole idea is to make to talk about very famous witches, but also to find hidden gems. In the first one, I found movies called Spellbinder. It's an 80s movie. I don't think so much people watch it, but I watched it. And it's the movie. It's really great, and it's a female filmmaker. So I put it in the zines.
Yeah, I don't have a copy of that. I just have the flyer that I got from
Yeah,
uh Crash's zine swap. I think that came in the flyer. So that's how actually that's how I got two copies of your zine. One of them came in the zine swap, which was which was really cool. I was able to, if you didn't send one over, I would have been able to at least check this out, and I think that was really cool. So how are you finding the zine community? Are you you said that your most popular one is the horror movies one.
yeah,
So a
yeah.
lot of people reaching out and doing like swaps with you or buying or.
Yeah, yeah, from mostly from Instagram, but also I wrote to people who like horror movies, horror media, and I send it some zines. So I do this kind of stuff. So it's really great to share it.
So that's cool. So this zine has kind of become a bit of a marketing tool for you, like a bit of a portfolio that you can send a little bit just to give a bit
Yeah,
of information.
yeah, yeah, maybe some kind of portfolio, but yeah, and I will do other things too.
Mm.
It will be more new portfolio because I will improve.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you're doing something right, for sure. Because a friend of mine, like an old friend of mine from high school, makes B movies and really trashy, cheap horror movies. And I know he picked up a copy
Hmm.
of of this, and I don't necessarily think he saw me showing it off on my Instagram first. I think he may have found it through you, and that's really cool. So kudos to that. So you've done the horror movies, you've done witches. We've seen lots of drawings on your Instagram about aliens lately. There's an overlying theme. Do you have any thoughts of trying something completely on the other side of the spectrum?
Yeah, yeah, maybe I will do a zine about the baby alien babies. I was rewatching X-Files. So X-Files is maybe the best TV show
Mm,
ever for me.
mm,
So I was rewatching it, and when I saw the embryo, alien embryo at the end of the season one. I was so into it, so I want to draw the embryo all over. So I begin to draw this one, and after I made some research and I find an 80s or 90s movies with aliens like the Coneds when I was a kid. So I think it's cool to create a new alien baby. So
Mm.
maybe I will put all my drawing in one silly zines.
So what do you think is the future of zines then?
I think the zines will always be there because it's so something about sharing and meet people, and at the beginning I was thinking that we have to go in a fair zine fair to be in the zine world. So in Montreal we have a pretty big one. Uh, Annual zine fair. I know a lot of people who go there, but I'm not a big fan of huge crowd. So I was thinking that I can not. It's not for me to be in the zine world, but I recently discovered that on Etsy, Instagram, with snail mail, we can be a ziner like the old like. In the 80s, so it's great. I think the zine will always be there because it's so clever idea to make small projects. It's great to see. I try to draw daily, so I draw, but I don't know where to put all this creation. And the zine, it's a small project. It's so cool, and the people are really happy when they receive it. So it's great.
Mm. So, do you have any like kind of inspirations of maybe other zinesters or just artists in
Yeah,
general that are outside of
yeah.
Quebec?
I found those zine at the feminist bookstore in Montreal. This one is about Claude Carr. It's a French artist, visual artist, and this other one is about Hilda Af Klein. It's a painter, and I find it very clever. And when I found those zine, I was thinking, oh, actually, I can make something like that, maybe about movies, but I can make something like that. It's cool because it's the people learn something from it. It's all
Mm.
the zine don't have to be to be like this one, but for me, it was really an inspiration when I find those zine.
Is there any zinester that you would like to collaborate with?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
Sure.
I discovered this guy. He made a Misfit Cinema Journal. It's something about movies. It's really there are so many information. I don't know how it can do that. Maybe some kind of this is some kind of collaboration great for me. I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah. See, like the reason I ask is because, the zine community and bringing people together is really cool. And, this whole chat show and, getting to meet zinesters from around the world is awesome. And we often hear, zine creators sometimes are really, really good at one thing. Like Craig always says that he doesn't, get layout and concept of that, but he can write. He writes very, very well. And then you'll get someone who doesn't really write all that much, but can draw beautifully. And
Hmm.
you're like, you two are sitting right next to each other. Why aren't you talking?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I really
Yeah.
want to collaborate with someone who do the writing in English and I can do the drawing.
Mm. So, is there something that you're currently like working on, or kind of currently thinking about working on any new projects, or?
Yeah. My new project is about female revenge in movies, female revenge movies. So I really like this kind of movie. It's really it's very violent, but I like it. And in the female revenge movies, it's often about rape and revenge. And they are these films are not for everybody. I think the worst of them is I Spit on Your Grave. I don't know if you know this film. It's a horrific movie, rape and revenge. But I want to make a zine about female revenge movie directed by women. So it's a new thing. There are few of them, and it's great to talk about them. And right now in the theater, the movie Promising Young Woman, it's a rape and revenge movie about directed by a woman, and it's really a new point of view about it. It's really interesting because all the concept of rape and revenge movie, it's mostly a male fantasy. I don't think that woman who was raped want to take revenge like that by killing someone. It's really a male thing. So it's interesting to see how women can create something with this male fantasy. So I watch many of them to prepare my news in.
Is it hard to watch? Like,
Yeah.
I think many people would feel extremely uncomfortable watching something like that and that kind of type of movie. And like you say, it's not for everybody. But like, is it hard for you to watch, or how is?
Yeah. I find it. I watched recently a Canadian movie, Violation. It's a rape and revenge movie made by a man and a woman, a team directors. The film was shot in Quebec, really near of me. And this movie is terrible. It's so gory, and I was really uncomfortable to watch it. It's
Yeah,
really the promising one young woman one, and it's really more funnier than that, but it's the pessimistic movie also.
yeah,
Yeah,
mhm,
it's for
yeah,
horror movies fan.
yeah, yeah,
Somebody must
yeah.
be enjoying them because they keep making it, right?
Yeah.
For me, like if I'm gonna watch a horror movie, I kind of want to laugh about it. Like I want over the top, silly kills, you know. And like who would have ever thought to do that? You kind of laugh about it. Like my favorite horror movie is Sleepaway Camp, the original
Yeah.
Sleepaway Camp. And so it's a typical kind of camp slasher movie until the ending. I'm not going to give the ending away, Craig, if you've never seen it. It's change your life. But
I'll
there's
probably never get a chance to see it, so it's all right.
Oh, I'm
You
gonna
give it.
have to watch it because it will change your life. There's a kill scene in the movie where the killer takes what you call a curling iron, right? Like a hot curling iron,
Mhm.
and up the girl's pooch. And like on the one hand, you're like, "Ugh," right? But on the other hand, you're like, who would have ever thought to do this in a movie?
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. The killings can be really creative in horror movies, like in Dario Argento one. It's an Italian, and also in Big Bad Taste. It's a Peter Jackson movie. It's really a a comedy one, and all the killings are really creative. But I think I what I love the most it's to have fear, to be afraid in a movie. It's like it's what I, I like.
mm, mhm. Interesting.
I don't watch a lot of horror movies. I scare easy.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I don't. I watch barely any. But I
I'm,
do try to. I do try to find horror books. Like I don't read many of them, but I try to occasionally like read like a horror to try and get that feeling on the page. Like I think I kind of read it for like writing purposes to try to get see how
Mhm.
the emotion is kind of brought out on the page as well, like and how I can maybe use that in my own writing, not so much in horror, but just using emotion in general. But yeah, that's I do try to keep an eye out sometimes. Um,
the idea of what scares you versus what scares me versus what scares
Mhm.
you is
mm,
totally different. So horror movies and horror literature, it's all going to affect us differently. For example, you could cut someone's head off and have the
Mhm.
blood splurting out, and you may wince for a second, and go ugh, but then you're like, like it's so funny.
mm,
Yeah, yeah.
But like a psychological horror thriller
Mhm.
will, you know, I can't handle that. I get too scared of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I really like psychological one. So
yeah,
when I'm the most scared, it's the better one.
yeah. I don't want to backtrack too much, but I just want to touch on something you talked about the feminist bookshop. Is that
Mhm.
where you discovered zines, or what kind of came first? And
And
can you tell us a little bit about that place?
yeah, yeah. It's a small bookshop, feminist bookshop, and it's a bilingual bookshop. So it's great. I can buy their English book and French book. So it's my
Mm-hmm.
favorite
Favorite
bookshop,
place.
and they have a big stand with many zines. So people of Montreal can put their creation there. So it's really
Yeah.
great to find new zines. But at the bookstore, most of the zine are writing ones, and I
Mhm.
like it. But I was searching more about illustrated ones. So I do some research on Etsy. I find the Ryan zine from Etsy because I do research about it to find something with more drawings because I want to do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, so you found the bookstore first, or you knew of the bookstore, and then you
Yeah,
went
yeah.
there, and that's where you found zines. So, zines
No,
are kind of new, or
no, oh no, I know Zine from a long time ago, but in the past I started with a blog. I I had many blogs in the last years, and all my blogs was about writing, and all my blogs were in French. So when I first think about an illustrated project. I don't know if I want to make it in a blog. I can make it on Instagram instead. So Zine is really cool for
mm-hmm.
illustration and to do some test with the illustration is great. In the horror movies one, I want to create alternative poster for each
Mm-hmm.
piece. So I find many people on Instagram who do alternative posters. So I found it very cool. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I got my first idea for a zine.
Yeah, yeah, like this one. This is from one of the movies. Alternative poster. Very cool. That's a cool idea. And I think I don't know. I'm not an illustrator, but I think if you're drawing digitally, maybe you want to kind of see what it looks like printed, or even if you're not drawing digitally, but just like I think the act of copying it and making some photocopies of it, and just kind of seeing what your image looks like printed or copied is probably a cool kind of thing to for many people to see, and maybe their first time. So zine is definitely like a cool medium for that.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. And also, I want to improve myself in Photoshop. So, so Zine is cool for that because I watch some course about Photoshop, but it's really boring. So actually, I find it more more cool to make a project in Photoshop. So it's really a trial and errors, but I improve each time.
Nice.
And you got to do your own thing. Like you're gonna make it yours no matter what. Do you draw digitally or do you do old school pen on paper?
It's old school pen on paper, but after I scan it, I put it in Photoshop and I rework on it in Photoshop. So I do some trying on Photoshop, but the most part is in ink and pen
Yeah,
in paper.
just some like digital touch up. So you it sounds like you and I do very similar sort of process.
Yeah, yeah, I think.
Mm.
We can't give away all our magic or everyone will.
Yeah, don't tell me because I'll start stealing all the magic and like start photoshopping everything. Not really. Yeah, yeah. Was there anything you wanted to add at all, Emily, that you wanted to talk about?
um, no, thanks.
No.
Thanks for having me.
That's okay. I really enjoyed this. It's really nice to, it's great to talk to other zinesters, but also just talking about their passion and hearing you talk about, your passion of horror movies and also just adding the layer of women in horror movies and women directors uh I think that makes it a really interesting, and that's what makes this zine, and I think, and even the Witcher zine, which I haven't had a chance to look at, but Ryan has, which makes this zine really, really interesting and really cool. And like I said, I learn a lot. Like before, I didn't really know who directed some of the movies. Like Monster, that Monster one is a big one. It's a really popular movie, and still,
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't realize there was a female director. I thought that was really cool. So it was really nice, yeah, chatting with you and finding out about your passions and how it all sort of goes along.
So for all of you at home watching this, you can get Amelie's zines at her Etsy shop. Check her out her Instagram. All of that is going to be down there. So go click those links. And if you've enjoyed this video, click like, click subscribe. If you like zines and zinesters and what we do and chatting with them and finding out their interests and hobbies and passions and creative ways, yeah, like and
And
subscribe
if
to that's what's gonna get people to watch it with us. So thanks.
and
Thanks.
if you want us to chat to someone, just make a comment down below and let us know who you'd like us to chat to next. And that'd be really cool.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you again, Emily. And I know that I very much look forward to seeing what you come up with next because I've enjoyed it so far.
Thanks.
Yes. Merci beaucoup.
Bye.
Bye bye.